In a small, quiet town, there lived a young woman named Emma. Emma was kind and smart, but she often felt unsure of herself. She doubted her abilities and always worried about what others thought of her. This self-doubt cast a shadow over her life, making it hard for her to see her true potential. Emma worked at a local bakery where she baked delicious cakes and pastries every day. Despite her talent, she never believed she was good enough. Her boss and customers praised her work, but Emma always thought they were just being polite. One day, while walking home from work, Emma saw a poster for a community talent show. The event promised a chance to showcase one's skills and meet new people. Emma felt a spark of interest, but quickly pushed it aside, thinking she could never compete with others. As the days went by, Emma couldn't stop thinking about the talent show. She knew this could be an opportunity to step out of her comfort zone. But the shadow of self-doubt loomed large, holding her back. Determined to change, Emma decided to seek help. She talked to her best friend, Lily, who always encouraged her. Lily believed in Emma and wanted to help her see her own worth. With Lily's support, Emma began a journey of self-discovery. She read books about confidence, practiced positive thinking, and started to believe in herself little by little. The road was not easy, but Emma was determined to step out of the shadows and into the light. And so, Emma's journey to overcome self-doubt began. With each step, she learned more about herself and started to see the world in a new light. This is her story, a story of courage, growth, and the power of believing in oneself. Emma woke up early each morning to start her day at the bakery. The smell of fresh bread and sweet pastries filled the air as she prepared the day's offerings. Despite her skill, Emma often hesitated to show her creativity. She stuck to the recipes she knew well, fearing that her new ideas might not be good enough. One afternoon, Mr. Johnson, a regular customer, came in with his grandson. The little boy looked at the cakes with wide eyes, and Mr. Johnson asked Emma if she could make a special cake for his grandson's birthday. Emma's heart raced. She wanted to create something unique, but felt the familiar sting of self-doubt. "You can do it, Emma," Mr. Johnson said kindly. "I know whatever you make will be wonderful." Emma smiled nervously and agreed to make the cake. As she worked on the design that evening, her mind filled with worries. What if it turns out terrible? What if they don't like it? These thoughts swirled around, making her feel small and unsure. The next day, Emma finished the cake. It was a beautiful creation, decorated with colorful frosting and intricate details. When Mr. Johnson and his grandson came to pick it up, their faces lit up with joy. The little boy clapped his hands in delight. "It's perfect," Mr. Johnson exclaimed. "Thank you, Emma." Emma felt a warm glow inside her. For a moment, the shadow of self-doubt lifted, and she saw a glimpse of her true potential. This small success gave her a bit of confidence, but she knew there was still a long way to go. Emma decided to seek guidance from others who had overcome similar struggles. She visited the town library and found books about self-confidence and personal growth. One book in particular caught her eye. It was titled, "The Light Within: How to Overcome Self-Doubt and Believe in Yourself." Emma borrowed the book and began reading it every night. The stories of people who had conquered their fears inspired her. She started to practice the techniques suggested in the book, like positive affirmations and visualizing success. One day, while reading in the park, Emma noticed an elderly woman painting a beautiful landscape. The woman's brush moved gracefully across the canvas, creating a scene full of color and life. Emma admired her skill and wondered how she had become so confident in her art. Gathering her courage, Emma approached the woman. "Excuse me, your painting is amazing. How did you become so confident in your work?" The woman looked up and smiled. "Thank you, dear. It took many years of practice and believing in myself. I used to doubt my abilities, just like you do now. But I learned to trust my instincts and not be afraid of making mistakes." Emma felt a connection with the woman and shared her own struggles with self-doubt. The woman listened patiently and offered her some advice. "Remember, confidence comes from within. It's about believing in your worth and not being afraid to shine. Take small steps every day, and soon you'll see the light within you." Emma thanked the woman and felt a renewed sense of hope. She realized that overcoming self-doubt was a gradual process, and she was ready to take those small steps towards a brighter future. With the talent show approaching, Emma decided it was time to challenge herself. She signed up to participate, choosing to showcase her baking skills. The thought of performing in front of an audience terrified her, but she knew this was a crucial step in her journey. Lily, her best friend, continued to support her. They spent hours together, practicing and perfecting Emma's presentation. Lily reminded Emma of her strengths and encouraged her to believe in herself. On the day of the talent show, Emma felt a mix of excitement and fear. She took a deep breath and walked onto the stage. The lights were bright, and the audience was silent, waiting for her to begin. Emma introduced herself and started to explain her baking process. As she spoke, her hands trembled slightly, but she kept going. She showed the audience how to make a beautiful cake, sharing her tips and tricks. To her surprise, the audience responded with enthusiasm. They asked questions, clapped, and even cheered her on. Emma's confidence grew with each moment, and by the end of her presentation, she felt a sense of accomplishment she had never experienced before. When she finished, the applause was loud and heartfelt. Emma smiled, her heart filled with joy. She had faced her fear and stepped out of the shadows. The talent show had become a turning point in her journey. As weeks passed, Emma continued to build on her newfound confidence. She started experimenting with new recipes at the bakery and received positive feedback from customers. She also joined the local support group for people struggling with self-doubt, where she met others who shared their own stories of overcoming insecurities. Emma's journey was not without setbacks. There were days when self-doubt crept back in, and she questioned her abilities. But each time, she reminded herself of how far she had come and the support she had from her friends and community. One evening, as Emma walked home from the bakery, she reflected on her journey. She realized that overcoming self-doubt was not about eliminating it entirely, but about learning to manage it and not letting it control her life. She had discovered the light within herself and was ready to embrace it fully. Emma decided to give back to her community by offering baking classes at the local community center. She wanted to help others find their confidence and believe in their abilities, just as she had learned to do. The classes became a huge success. People of all ages came to learn from Emma, and she found great joy in teaching and sharing her passion. Through these classes, she continued to grow and inspire others, proving that anyone can overcome their shadows and step into the light. Emma's story is a testament to the power of believing in oneself. Through her journey, she learned that self-doubt is a common struggle, but it doesn't have to define us. With support, perseverance, and a willingness to step out of our comfort zones, we can overcome our fears and discover our true potential. Emma's journey from shadows to light is an inspiring reminder that we all have the strength within us to overcome self-doubt and shine brightly. Her story encourages us to embrace our uniqueness, trust our abilities, and never be afraid to show the world who we truly are.